If you're a fan of Escape from Tarkov and have ever wondered how PMCs speak to other players while in raids, I put together a fairly comprehensive guide on how and when to use the in-game voice comms system.
Nice move!
The in-game voice comms system in Escape from Tarkov is one of the most unique and entertaining comms systems in any game I've ever played. The system provides a wide array of voice commands you can use to communicate with both teammates and enemies, adding an additional element of immersion to the experience.
-1.
If you want to set up hotkeys for your comms, I would recommend loading into any map in offline mode so you don't have to worry about enemies, and the hotkeys you set up will be saved for all raids after that. Note that if your PMC faction is USEC, all of your voice comms will be in English, and if you selected the Bear faction, all comms are currently in Russian, although there's been rumors of adding broken English to the Bear comms in the future. If you speak English and want to use the in-game comms system to communicate with others, I'd highly recommend you select USEC as your faction. All of the comms can be bound to hotkeys to make it easy to carry on nearly full conversations with other players in the game, and with a little bit of practice, it can become second nature. To bring up the in-game's comm menu at any time while in a raid, double tap the Y key and you'll be presented with an overlay with 8 primary sections: Help, Command, Health Status, Reaction, Contact, Enemy, Team Status, and an array of hand signals. Hovering over each section will give you a breakdown of each of the commands within. Left-clicking on any of the options will result in your character saying one of a number of randomly selected phrases that match your selection, and right-clicking on the selection brings up an additional menu that allows you to bind that comm to one of the F keys, F1 through F12. On the bottom of the comms overlay, you can see the hotkeys you have already bound. The 12 you see are the ones I use the most often and consist of a mixture of commands I use for 3 primary purposes: intimidating enemies, adding additional immersive and entertaining elements to my stream, and in some more rare and exceptionally fun instances, teaming up with random players in-game. Most of the commands in each section are pretty straightforward. The help section primarily contains requests for things like ammo, meds, weapons. The command section contains a list of orders to both teammates and enemies, such as telling them to cover you, hold their fire, and to be quiet. The reaction tab contains phrases that can be used in response to other commands, such as negative or roger, to respond to an order from a PMC, or to give additional information about a situation, such as notifying a teammate that the area is clear. The contact section primarily contains information about where enemies are located relative to you and your teammates. The enemy section contains situational updates about enemies in a fight, such as if you've killed an enemy you were engaging or hear a noise nearby. The team status section contains phrases about teammates that have been injured, killed, or to indicate that members of your team are shooting you or another teammate, or if you have a traitor in your group. You'll want to experiment with the different commands to get a feel for which ones you'll want to use most often, and bind those to the F keys. If you find yourself in a situation where a command you want is not bound, you'll want to get a feel for where those commands are located in the context menu to quickly select them while in the moment without leaving yourself exposed for too long.
Is this your warfare? You should try better! Cover fire! Cover me! Need covering assistance!
He just runs out there!
What the hell is wrong with you?
I believe by default F1 is bound to Mumble, which is a loosely context-specific random phrase with 2 primary modes, relaxed and aggressive.
So, what do we have here? No one's left behind? Yeah, sure.
To trigger an aggressive taunt, you need to mumble within a short period after shooting your gun, and I believe it also works if you've recently been shot or injured by an enemy as well.
Shut up, goddammit! Just die already!
Aggressive taunts can be used in a variety of situations to intimidate enemies in the middle of a fight, or sometimes in an attempt to draw them out of cover. Be careful though, as this can give away your position, but if used wisely in addition to smart movement, can often be used to bait out enemies into the open while they look for where they last heard you, and while you've since changed your position into a more advantageous area for an easy kill. Be careful though, as this can often give away your position, but if used wisely in addition to smart movement, can bait out enemies into the open while they look for where they last heard you. If you are able to quickly change positions into a more advantageous area, this can often net you an easy kill. The Ambiguity of Sound currently in the game Primarily vertical sound between different levels or floors of a map can be used to your advantage. Even with the limited options the game currently has, with a little bit of practice and creativity you can communicate just about anything you'd want to. And with the small random element and a little bit of luck, it can make for some entertaining moments.
Did you hear that?
Tarkov also provides a number of context-specific comms options that you can use if you're injured or while you're within arm's distance of items, doors, and even players, dead or alive.
Reloading!
When close to a point of interest in the game, you'll see a menu pop up in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, and pressing Y will result in your PMC saying the relevant phrase.
Door, open it. A place to search.
Some objects in the game provide multiple options, such as a locked door, allowing you to choose the one that fits the situation using the scroll wheel.
It's locked.
Keep in mind that in some situations, such as if you're injured, the command you'll want to use can be overridden by default. So if you have a broken leg and want to tell a teammate to loot something nearby, you'll need to scroll to one of the secondary options.
I'm hit!
Here are a couple pro tips I'd love to share with you from my experience using the in-game comms feature. Teaming up with random people tends to include one or all of the following voice lines. It typically starts with one of you requesting the other holds their fire.
Sorry. Hold your fire. Free!
When prompted for this, it's usual for the other person to respond either with the same hold your fire command, or even better using the reaction section to indicate affirmative.
Stop! Cease fire! Confirmed.
In some situations, you may not trust the other player who you know has a gun, or might not know if they have a weapon at all, so to avoid a Mexican standoff, you can request they holster their weapon by using the knives only comm in the command section. When the time has come to actually come face to face with your potential teammate, a friendly wiggle is always a welcome sight. If you're clever about how and when you use some of the comms, you can use them to trick players into making tactical mistakes. Using the reload comm at the end of a reloading animation when you're actually done reloading and ready to fire, or using the need medkit comm in the middle of a fight when the enemy thinks they've injured you but you're actually full health, can trick them into rushing you while you're holding the angle ready for them to push.
Gotta reload.
Now I haven't talked too much about the hand signals, but the same principles apply. They can be used in a pinch for silent communication with a teammate to point towards points of interest, have them hold their position, as well as being the primary method of communicating with other AI and player scavs when doing your scav runs, as the comms are not currently available for scavs. One idea I have for a future addition to the in-game comms system would be a questions section. Being able to ask players where they are, if they want to team up, if they have ammo or other supplies, and what they want to do next would be a welcome addition in my experience. I want to give a huge amount of credit to one of my absolute favorite streamers on Twitch, Smoke, for being the foremost promoter of using the in-game comm system in Escape from Tarkov. I'd be willing to bet he's the reason why so many people are familiar with and use the in-game comm system, and he is absolutely the inspiration for my personal use of it on my stream. I'd highly recommend you head over to his stream to check him out. To finish off this video, I'll share my absolute favorite in-game voice comms moment from Smoke's stream. Now, if you guys liked this video or learned something from it, it'd mean a lot to me if you guys gave the video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and left a comment about any ideas, questions, concerns you'd have with the in-game comm system, Escape from Tarkov in general, or if you have any ideas on any of the other topics you'd like me to cover in the future. Thank you guys and enjoy.
I stabbed him. Okay, it's nothing.